Welcome back to Coinage Era. Today we're diving into a fascinating journey through French coin history, exploring not just one, but four iconic coins: the 1960 French 1 franc, 1968 French 1 franc, 1976 French 1 franc, and 1977 French 1 franc. These coins may look simple, but they represent a powerful transformation in France's economy, politics, and identity. From currency reform to modern design, these franc coins tell the story of a nation rebuilding itself in the modern world. But here's the exciting part. Some of these coins today are not just historical. They can be valuable collectibles worth far more than their face value. So let's start this mega coin journey from the beginning. The 1960 French 1 franc is not just a simple piece of currency, but a powerful symbol of France's economic transformation and national revival. In the late 1950s, France was struggling with high inflation and a weakening currency, which created uncertainty in everyday life. To solve this crisis, President Charles de Gaulle introduced a major monetary reform in 1960, known as the new franc. This reform changed the entire financial system, where one new franc became equal to 100 old francs, helping to stabilize the economy and restore confidence among the people. The 19601 franc coin was among the first coins issued under this new system, making it historically very important as it represented a fresh start for the nation. The design of this coin carries deep meaning and artistic beauty. It features the famous La Semeuse, the sower, a graceful female figure walking forward while scattering seeds into the wind. This iconic design was created by Oscar Rodi, one of France's most respected engravers. The sower symbolizes hope, growth, and progress, representing France planting the seeds of a stronger and more stable future. Her flowing hair and forward movement reflect determination and renewal, perfectly matching the country's situation at that time. On the reverse side, the coin displays the denomination 1 franc along with olive branches, which symbolize peace and stability. Together, the design elements make this coin not only visually appealing but also rich in national symbolism. The 1960 French 1 franc was made from nickel, giving it strength and durability for everyday use. Millions of these coins were minted and circulated widely across France, becoming a common part of daily transactions. People used them in markets, transport, and small purchases, making this coin a true reflection of everyday life in the 1960s. Despite being common, its importance lies in the role it played during a critical period of economic reform. It represents a time when France was rebuilding itself and moving toward modernization under strong leadership. Today, the value of the 1960 French 1 franc depends largely on its condition. Most circulated coins are worth around $1 to $5, making them affordable for beginner collectors. However, coins in uncirculated or high-grade condition can sell for $20 to $100 or more, especially if they have sharp details and original shine. Rare mint errors or exceptional specimens can be even more valuable in the collector's market. While it may not always be extremely expensive, its true worth lies in its history, a coin that marked the beginning of a new economic era for France. It stands as a reminder that even a small coin can carry a big story of change, resilience, and national progress. Now, let's move forward and explore the next coin in our journey. The 1968 French 1 franc represents a very different chapter in France's history, a time not just of stability, but of social change and national unrest. By 1968, France had already recovered economically. After the 1960 currency reform, introduced by Charles de Gaulle, and the new franc had become a stable and trusted currency. However, beneath this financial stability, the country was facing growing tension among students, workers, and the general public. The year 1968 became one of the most dramatic periods in modern French history due to the famous May 1968 protests. A major May 1968 protests. Millions of students and workers took to the streets, demanding better working conditions, educational reforms, and greater freedoms. The protests grew so large that they nearly brought the entire French economy to a halt and even challenged the leadership of Charles de Gaulle. During this time, everyday life in France was deeply affected, and coins like the 19681 franc continued to circulate as silent witnesses to this historic moment. In terms of design, the 1968 French 1 franc continued to feature the iconic La Semeuse, the sower, originally created by Oscar Rodi. This design remained unchanged because it had become a powerful national symbol. The image of the sower spreading seeds represented hope, renewal, and progress, which was especially meaningful during a time when the country was facing uncertainty and demanding change. On the reverse side, the coin still displayed the denomination 1 franc along with olive branches, symbolizing peace, something the nation was strongly seeking during this period of unrest. The coin was made from nickel, just like the 1960 version, ensuring durability for daily use. It was minted in large numbers and widely circulated across France, making it a common part of everyday transactions. People used this coin during a time when the country was going through both economic stability and social upheaval, giving it a unique place in history. Today, the value of the 1968 French 1 franc depends mainly on its condition. Most circulated coins are worth around $1 to $5, similar to the 1960 version. However, coins in uncirculated or high-grade condition can sell for $20 to $80 plus, and rare error coins may reach even higher values among collectors. While it may not always be extremely rare, its real importance lies in its connection to one of France's most significant historical moments. The 1968 French 1 franc is more than just a coin. It is a reminder of a time when a nation stood at a crossroads, balancing stability with the demand for change. It carries the story of a society pushing forward, just like the sower on its design, planting the seeds for a new future. Now, let's move forward and explore the next coin in our journey. The 1976 French 1 franc represents a period when France had moved beyond crisis and entered an era of modernization, confidence, and economic stability. Unlike the earlier coins of 1960 and 1968, which reflected reform and unrest, the 1976 coin tells a story of a nation that had found its balance and was stepping strongly into the modern world. By the mid-1970s, France was experiencing industrial growth, technological progress, and a stronger position in Europe. The leadership after Charles de Gaulle had continued to build on the stable foundation created in the 1960s, although the world was facing challenges like the global oil crisis. France managed to maintain relative economic strength, and its currency remained reliable. The 1976 French 1 franc circulated during a time when people had more confidence in their financial system and daily life was becoming more stable and modern. The design of the coin still featured the iconic La Semeuse, the sower, created by Oscar Rodi, showing how deeply this symbol was connected to French identity. But now, the meaning of the sower had evolved. In 1960, it symbolized a new beginning. In 1968, it represented hope during unrest. By 1976, it stood for growth, success, and continuity, as if the seeds planted years earlier were now beginning to flourish. On the obverse, the sower continues her forward motion, confidently spreading seeds, representing progress and a bright future. On the reverse, the denomination 1 franc is surrounded by olive branches, symbolizing peace and stability, values that France had worked hard to achieve over the previous decade. The coin was made from nickel, maintaining durability for everyday transactions. It was minted in large quantities and widely used across the country, making it a familiar part of daily French life. However, what makes the 1976 coin special is not rarity, but the stage of history it represents, a time when France had regained strength and was moving forward with confidence. Value and worth today. Most 1976 French 1 franc coins are common and typically worth around $1 to $5 in circulated condition. However, uncirculated coins can sell for $20 to $70 plus. High-quality examples with strong details may reach $100 or more. Rare mint errors or exceptional pieces can be even more valuable to collectors. For collectors, this coin is not just about price. It's about owning a piece of a time when France had successfully transitioned into a modern and stable economy. The 1976 French 1 franc tells a powerful story, not of struggle, but of achievement and progress. It shows how a nation that once faced economic challenges and social unrest was able to rise, stabilize, and move forward stronger than before. Just like the sower on the coin, France continued to plant seeds for the future, and by 1976. Now, let's move forward and explore the final coin in our journey. The 1977 French 1 franc represents the final stage of this journey, a time when France had not only stabilized its economy but had fully stepped into a phase of confidence, continuity, and national strength. By 1977, France was no longer a country struggling with inflation or social unrest like in the earlier years. Instead, it had become a more organized, modern, and economically secure nation. The reforms that began in 1960 under Charles de Gaulle had fully taken effect, and the French currency system was now stable and trusted both nationally and internationally. The 1977 French 1 franc continued to carry the iconic L'Assommouse, designed by Oscar Rodi, but by this time its meaning had reached its peak. The sower was no longer just planting seeds of hope. She now symbolized a nation that had grown, matured, and was confidently moving forward into the future. It was as if the seeds planted in 1960 had now fully blossomed by 1977. On the obverse, the graceful figure of the sower continues her forward motion, representing progress that never stops. On the reverse, the denomination 1 franc remains surrounded by olive branches, symbolizing lasting peace and stability, something France had worked hard to achieve over the years. This coin, like the others, was made of nickel and produced in large quantities for everyday use. It was widely circulated and became a normal part of life in France during the late 1970s. However, what makes the 1977 coin special is that it represents the completion of a historical journey from economic crisis to full recovery and strength, value, and worth today. Most 1977 French 1 franc coins are common and typically worth around $1 to $5 in circulated condition, but uncirculated coins can sell for $20 to $60 plus. High-grade examples may reach $80 to $120. Rare mint errors or exceptional pieces can go even higher in collector markets. Final story insight. The 1977 French 1 franc is not just another coin, it is the ending chapter of a powerful story. From the economic reform of 1960, through the unrest of 1968, to the growth of 1976. This coin stands as proof that France successfully rebuilt, stabilized, and moved forward stronger than ever. It reminds us that even a small coin can carry a big legacy, a story of struggle, change, growth, and ultimate success. So after exploring all 4 coins, the 1960 French 1 franc, 1968 French 1 franc, 1976 French 1 franc, and 1977 French 1 franc becomes clear. These are not just coins. They are chapters of history, from economic crisis to social revolution to growth and finally to stability. But here's the real question. What if one of these coins sitting quietly in a collection is actually worth far more than you think? Now it's your turn. If you had to keep only one coin, which one would you choose? 1960, 1968, 1976, or 1977? Comment your answer below and let's see which coin wins. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Coin Age Era, because your next coin might be a hidden treasure.